Once you've completed your form and you've put in all the areas that you need, um, we'll go over real quick again to make sure that you understand. Remember that only the elements that are going to be repeating should be where you see a parent, right? It's okay to have the same on both sides. Um, I've added some extra ones in here, but because I am done, I can delete those pages. So I can delete that spread, and I can also delete this spread. Again, if I were to add a new page just so you could see, I can say insert page, click OK. The only thing that's going to appear is what was on my master page. And this will help when we've got multiple documents that we're working with and we need to have a consistent design elements go on all of them, and that way we're not bogging down our documents with the exact same graphics over and over. We're just using them one time and they're appearing on all the different pages instead of inserting that same file 100 times. Again, for this assignment, you will make sure that you have removed all extra files. So make sure you delete that. You should only have one page that has your form elements completed and done. Now, with every single InDesign file that you are going to be working on, you will need to do the following steps, meaning you need to package. So what does that mean? That means InDesign looks for files from wherever you place them in. They're not just automatically embedded. You can embed them, however, it's not recommended because it will make for some ridiculous file sizes. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead and make sure that you have a folder on your desktop. So I have a folder here. I have saved my Try It 1 assignment, and I'm just going to make sure that it's here. I will go and save it one more time. A good habit to get into when you are working with your InDesign file. So let's say you might be actually seeing something like this. Remember, you can click on View, Overprint View, get rid of those boxes so you can actually see what it looks like. If you get rid of the overprint view and all of a sudden you don't have lines, that means you didn't add outlines, right? So doesn't matter which way you save it in, but you want to do a save as. And the reason being is when you do a save as in InDesign, it actually reduces your file size a little bit more. So we've got 1408, so let's do file size. We're going to replace it. If I go and look at it, you'll see that it actually reduced it down some more. So doing a save as and saving over it will actually help. The next thing you're going to do is you're not just going to zip this file and send it to me. No. You're going to package it. How do we package? We go to File, Package. Now, what happens when we package? It means it's going to pull in any fonts, any images that you used, graphics, so on and so forth. You'll see right here, it's going to give you a little warning. And the reason being is it wants to make sure that, first of all, it found 2 links. 0 were modified, 0 were missing, 0 were inaccessible, and 0 were embedded. Now, both of them use the RGB color space. Why is that important to look at? Because when we're sending things off to the printer, maybe we have a document that has a bunch of bird pictures, but some of them in RGB and some of them are in CMYK. Depending on the printer, the CMYK or the RGB could come out darker. So you want to make sure that all of those are consistent. So it's just giving you a warning to look at what you're submitting. It's also telling you fonts used. You use 3 different types of fonts. When we're sending things off to printers, we have to make sure that we include fonts. Why is that important? Because the printer may not have that font. Also, it means that you have to have licensing for those fonts. Just because it's on your system does not mean you have the right to print and distribute that font. So, for example, all you guys who are using PowerPoint and passing out handouts, you're actually technically breaking copyright laws. It's only meant to be viewed on your screen and not to be printed out. Yes, I know everyone does it, but in our design world and digital media world, it is very important that you understand that's a no-no, right? It's going to tell you what kind of fonts. They're open type, true type. This could be huge because certain font types are not recognized, maybe let's say on the web. So we want to make sure that we're using the right kind. Anyway, this is what this kind of goes through. It gives you the things to look through to see, are you using external plugins? We're not doing that. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to leave this little create printing instructions on. We're going to package. And then, for example, if you were sending this off to a printer, this is where it would be important. It would create a text file, and it would say, what's your file name? Who's the contact person for the company? You know, phone number, information. This is going to be used, practice files, you know, all these different things that you may need to put in, saying, I need it to be printed a certain way, cut, yada, yada, yada. You go on. You're just going to click continue. And then you're going to figure out where is it going to go into. It is going to try to save it into the same area where your InDesign file is, which is fine. Big things you want to do is make sure that you include copy fonts, copy linked, update graphic links. This you do not need to worry about. Include PDF print. This I can't stress to you. Make sure that it's a high quality print, meaning that if you reduce it, it's going to not be very good. So we want it to be a high quality print. That way we can see what it looks like, and if it were to be sent to a printer, they would know what it looks like, or the way it's supposed to look. It does not necessarily mean that it is supposed to be printed from the PDF, okay, just so that way we're clear. So we're going to go ahead and click package, and it should go through and do this. Now, after you've done it, you may get a little pop-up that says, hey, you're using a font or something, a warning. Read the pop-ups. It's probably just saying, do you understand that it's a copyright violation if you do not have the permissions to distribute the font? Just click OK because we're using it for the assignment. Now, what will happen is you will have a folder next to your InDesign that has been created. This will have everything in it. It is going to have your InDesign document. It is going to have your instructions, what the printer would need, and it would tell you everything that they would need to follow. You look at links. Obviously, it would not print if you did not include this. So you're not going to change the layout or anything like that, the file structure inside this folder. You're just going to see what fonts, and it includes all the fonts that were used inside your document. So you will right click this, send to, or make it a compressed zip file, right? And then that is the folder that you're going to upload. Please, please do not just upload your InDesign file by itself or zip it by itself. You will never ever just zip an InDesign file by itself. Even if you do nothing but text in it, and you know you're like, I don't have any files, I'm using a standard font, you're still going to package it. That is the proper way to submit any kind of InDesign file, whether it is to me or to anyone else in the future, right? And that's what you're going to be doing.